Here for more perspective on policing in the U.S. right now is Chief of the Minneapolis Police Department, Brian O'Hara, and Chief of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Jennings. Chiefs, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being on.
Good morning, Hannah. Thank you.
And Chief Jennings, I am going to start with you. You lost one of your officers just over 2 weeks ago. First, I want to say I'm so sorry for that. It was Officer Joshua Iyer and 3 others that were shot and killed. They were ambushed. They were serving a warrant. 3 more of your officers were injured in this attack. Is the job of policing becoming more dangerous, sir?
Well, you know, we've always considered it dangerous, but I think now what you're seeing are a lot more attacks on law enforcement and people that are just, I guess, emboldened to either assault officers or shoot to kill, use deadly force. If you look back at last year, we had more officers shot in the line of duty than I think we ever have, and less were killed, but at the same time, it's still devastating to see that those of us who go out and protect and serve are being attacked in this fashion.
Absolutely. And Chief O'Hara, we're seeing more of these ambush-style attacks, too, on top of the Charlotte incident that I just mentioned. Days ago, Officer Jacob Durbin was shot and killed after being ambushed in Ohio. Why do you think more of these attacks are happening?
Yeah, well, first off, Hannah, I just want to extend our condolences again to Chief Jennings and everyone affected in Charlotte, that incredible tragedy. Yes, I mean, in Minneapolis, we had an officer here ambushed last summer and attacked. And I think kind of goes back to sort of the perfect storm of everything that we're facing, right? It's, 4 years in Minneapolis after the murder of George Floyd, we've lost 40% of our police force. We've experienced over the last few years some of the highest levels of gun violence the city has ever seen. And the city is kind of awash in a lot of ways in illegal guns. And because of all of these factors kind of come together, not to mention having a department not only, so dramatically understaffed, in a lot of ways demoralized, it's created kind of a perfect storm. And that's affected not just Minneapolis, but the entire region here, as a number of officers in the immediate area have been shot. Some have been killed over the last few months here.
Now, Chief Jennings, I want to follow up with what Chief O'Hara just said. A number of police departments across the country agree with him. They're warning about staffing shortages, low morale. Do you think these deadly incidents are impacting the amount of people who want to grow up or want to become police officers?
Well, I think Chief O'Hara put it perfectly. I think it's more towards how we've been demoralized over the past several years and the vilification of law enforcement, the public narrative that's out there that people don't see what we actually, who we actually are every day, and what defines us are those negative stories often that you see on social media and within the media. And I think that's impacting the staffing more than anything. Now, when you start talking about the attacks on law enforcement and the assaults, I saw some fantastic heroes step up to the plate a couple of weeks ago with our incident. And just, I said back then that this is going to have people look at what we do in our profession and say, I want to be a part of that. The family atmosphere, how we look after each other. It's no other profession outside of the military, I think, that has that strong bond like law enforcement.
And the bravery that comes with it. Chief O'Hara, how difficult is recruiting for you currently?
It's been a challenge, certainly, and probably no more pronounced than in Minneapolis at this time. But we're starting to see some positive trends, and it's a lot of what Chief Jennings is saying. And it starts with getting our own members back to remembering what their purpose is, why we are here in the first place. They have lived through some incredibly horrific times. They have, endured a whole lot of trauma, watched as, dozens and dozens of their coworkers have walked away from the profession while they have endured, incredible tragedies at times and had even their family members harassed simply for being members of this agency. But I think now where we are today, I was just at a memorial service yesterday where dozens of our officers showed up to remember those who have given their lives in the line of duty, where we got to meet the daughter of a Minneapolis police officer that was shot and killed 51 years ago. And I could tell it meant a lot, not only to that survivor, but also to our members, remembering what their purpose is, why we are here in the first place, why we need to continue to show up for our residents and continue to show up to back each other up every day.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.